Get yourself a budget. Hey, what's happening, guys? Maddie Q here from Exquisite Nation. Welcome to my channel where I talk about all things that are going to help you achieve life excellency so you can live exquisitely. If you want content similar to this, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And let's get into it. So I want to talk to you guys about budgets today, because that is something that really helps improve a lot of people's lives, helps boost your savings. Some of us, we don't even know where our money is going because we are just spending without a care in the world, and we need to start utilizing a budget. The thing about budgets is, even if you aren't following your budget to a T, just having a budget makes you more successful financially, because it makes you take stock of your finances at least once a month, or however often you do your budget or redo your budget. I try to create one on a monthly basis. There are people I know who budget to zero, and that is where you are taking each paycheck and budgeting each and every dollar. There's no leftover money floating around that has no place to go, and you do whatever you feel when the wind blows. No, every dollar is accounted for and is designated to go to a certain thing. Well, and sometimes that is a savings account, but it's not just sitting around, in your pocket to spend for whatever if something comes up. So that may help you. I don't budget to zero. I always leave you free money or, extra money for just whatever I want to do on a whim. But I do, I have set up my direct deposit so that my savings and my bill money comes out automatically, goes to a separate account. I do have debit cards for all my accounts. So if I have to slide a debit card for whatever reason, it is linked to each and every account, whether it be my savings account, my spending account, or my bill account. That might not be something you want to do, but it helps me just having all my money separate in different accounts so that, what's going here is going here and staying here. You know what I mean? Especially with the bills. I do like to shop a lot, so just knowing that everything that's in a certain account is free to spend helps me a lot. And of course, with my savings, I invest in the stock market, and just having that set aside and taken automatically out of my paycheck, it helps me to make sure that I'm saving on a regular basis. Now, there are other methods you can do. You can manually take out money. Some people like to manually take out money to spend on their groceries and stuff like that, gas, because having the money in your hand is so much easier to keep track of how much you're spending versus having a card that you just swipe. And I've tried it out myself, and it definitely makes you more conscious. It would help if I left my credit and debit cards at home, because I will go over what I intended to spend, and I'll take out the money in my pocket. I'll count it. It's not enough, so I'm just going to slide a card. So it's a method you can use. It will force you to have to put stuff back if you don't have enough money. It's pretty strict. It's pretty harsh, but sometimes we need to get harsh and strict with ourselves because we're overspending. And we have financial goals that we need to meet. One of mine is to build up my stock portfolio this year and to actually build up my savings, because I used a lot of my savings and my portfolio to use as a down payment for my home that I'm in now. So I'm going my focus for this year is rebuilding that. You do not have to follow these budgets to a T. I do not, guys. But having this budget helps you because it forces you to be more conscious of what you're spending and what you're spending on. You might not realize, if you got a subscription service here for $5, another one there for 10, then there's another one that's 19. Okay, by themselves, that doesn't look like a lot. Let's say all of these are streaming services subscriptions. And it doesn't look like a lot when they're all separated, but then when you add them all up on your budget and you're like, whoa, I'm spending $60, $70 a month on entertainment for these streaming services. Maybe I can delete a couple of them and take that down to $30 or $20. That is money you can put somewhere else. If you shave off $40, $50 a month, we can transfer that to savings, and you can calculate all this because you have all this information in front of you showing exactly how much money you're spending on these things, these subscriptions, and you can transfer that over to something else, such as your education. You can get a Audible subscription. You can start buying books. You can enroll in an online course. There are so many beneficial things that you can do with the extra money that you save monthly versus just spending it on entertainment, and you might not even be using all these streaming services. The budget really forces you to look at where your money is going. A lot of us don't really go over our statements for these banks, credit cards, debit cards. There are charges you might not realize that you have. And just forcing yourself to look at that stuff and list all your expenses on a monthly basis, you might be shocked to realize that you're paying for something that you don't use or something that you did not sign up for. This happened to me recently. I do go over my bank statements very carefully, and I realized I was getting charged for 2 accounts that had previously been free, and I ended up having to close those accounts and move them to different banks. So you just never know what's happening. Sometimes terms and agreements get changed and you're not notified. So, it happened to me. It could be happening to some of you guys because you may be with that very bank that I was with and I'm no longer affiliated with. Just go over your information on your statements as carefully as possible, just to make sure that your money is not going to these big corporations who do not need extra money. Honestly, they get enough money from overdraft fees and whatever. They don't need to be charging you for just having an account with the bank. You can get free checking at so many other banks. It's not worth it to pay a fee for that service. So just keep that in mind. Look over your accounts, guys. Sometimes we sign up for stuff and we forget. A budget, draws light to this because you're listing all your expenses, and as you're going over your credit card and bank statements to list your expenses, you realize you have these subscriptions that you didn't realize you had. And like I said, this money could do better elsewhere besides lining the pockets of these big corporations who don't need it. I've said this in a previous video before where I told a coworker about budgeting. They did not realize that they were actually in a deficit and they did not make enough money to cover all their bills. So what they did was work overtime till they got themselves in a better situation. They paid off debts, paid off credit card bills, and they were able to afford their bills with, just working 40 hours a week. Eventually, everyone doesn't have that option. We all can't just work overtime. I know I don't work overtime like that because of my children. I feel like it's unfair to them for me to work more than 40 hours. That is a personal belief I have. I work overtime from time to time, but for an extended period of time, I feel like that is just unfair. So, and of course, everyone isn't offered that at their jobs. So this is something that, before you get to the position where you need to work overtime, you can notice, okay, my bills are creeping up. What can I cut here and there? What expense can I cut here and there? And I do that from time to time. I look at my expenses and see what I can cut. just because I have a savings goal and I have a portfolio goal for this year, and I want to make sure that I meet them by the end of the year. So I'm cutting expenses and adding that to my portfolio and adding that to my savings just to make sure that I meet these goals. Some of you don't have any financial goals for the year, and you should. You should set goals. You should set savings goals. You should have portfolio goals, investment goals, all of that. You deserve it. Having a savings can significantly change your life because it can be there as a cushion for emergencies such as layoffs, car repairs, house repairs, medical bills. A lot of these things sneak up and financially ruin people. So start your budget today and start setting aside money so that you can have a savings, you can have a portfolio, and you can have something that has your back when catastrophe strikes. I guess a lot of people don't like the rules, the structure of a budget, but it is your best friend. It does not have to be a strict budget. Like I said, I always leave room in my budget. Some people may find it beneficial to have a budget where they're budgeting to zero, which means there's $0 left in your pocket. Everything is accounted for and it goes to a certain spot, which I've said before. You don't have to do the zero budget. There are so many different styles of budgets, guys. There's something that's going to fit what you have going on. And like I said before, it's not the fact that you're following the budget to the T. It's the fact that you have a budget and you're making yourself be consciously aware of your finances at least monthly. Or I'd say try to examine your budget every 3 to 6 months. You definitely should not go over 6 months without analyzing your budget. I do it monthly, but I feel like between 3 to 6 months is fair. So with that being said, just try it out. I do include budgets in my journals that I sell. So if you do want to get one, it will include a budget at the beginning so you can go over your finances for the month. And like I always say, you can journal in a composition notebook and you can include a budget in that. There is nothing wrong with doing these journals in a notebook that you get from the dollar store or whatever store you choose to shop in. It can be just as effective. I've already told you. You guys already know how to set up your journals. I've told you what was in them. You are just writing down your goals you want to accomplish within the next 1 to 5 years. I would say probably try to accomplish these things within 1 year. And you write these down every day. Those are your daily goals. And you write down your daily tasks that are the baby steps to achieving these goals. You gratitude journal, and this is what you're writing on a daily basis. So with that being said, guys, you can set up your own journals at home. I created these journals because I got tired of the process of manually setting it up. It was a lot of work. So for those of you, if you're feeling like me, it's a lot of work to set this up yourself. I do link these in every video. But I'm going to head on out and leave you with this message. Try this budgeting. I'd say give it for like 5 or 6 months. Try to make yourself a budget and see where you go with your finances. Add up all your savings and your debt totals and see how you are improving as these months progress. And I'll see you guys on the next video. I'm out.